What is up, guys and gals, Space Unicorn here, bringing you some hot tier list action. Today, we're going to take a look at all of the attack cards available on the Nintendo Switch for Frag Pro Shooter, and we're going to rank every single one so you know the very best attack cards to have in your lineup to make the perfect meta lineup for you. So with that being said, we're not going to wait any time here, and we're going to get into the video. Here we go. First up, we have Avalanche, and with any tier list, the first one's always the hardest to rank. Avalanche is kind of a weird card. He has the isolation ability, essentially, where he walls people in with the ice, but he really isn't good. He doesn't do quite enough damage, and it's not consistent enough or recharged fast enough to really be effective in a long-term battle. So for that, he's going to go in C tier. Next, we have Cyber Agent. His ultimate ability, the shield wall, where it slows and stuns enemies, is actually really good, but he doesn't do quite enough damage. But he's definitely better than Avalanche, so I'm going to put him at B tier, currently in Frag. Next up, we have Evil Piper. This is an S tier character currently for the Nintendo Switch. This character is extremely strong and isn't going to get nerfed for a little while either, so if you want to level up any of the attack cards, this is the one to do it right now. Next up, we're bringing a Frag OG, Freesby. This card is kind of on the same thing as Avalanche. The ultimate ability is unique and powerful in the correct hands, but the projectile is so weird that I can't put her higher than C tier right now, so Avalanche rank for Freesby. Lord VR. This card is slept on currently on the Nintendo Switch. He does take some skill to use, but if you put the frag powers and the augments on this guy is an easy A tier character. Just got to remember and time your copies to correspond with the cards you want to pick, and this card will be devastating for you. General Mech is our next card. This card is kind of not good, not bad, but his ultimate ability can be a little bit annoying that it slows you down and does damage. So I'm going to give him a B tier. He's on the same level as Cyber Agent, in my personal opinion, right now for Frag metas. Asuka. This is probably the best tank currently in Frag for attack cards. She's going to go in B tier, though, because right now the meta really isn't tank friendly. But this is still the best one to have if you're going to be using a tank. Stella. This card was really good at one point, but the current nerf, where her projectile just does not do enough damage to really be substantial, and she's got a huge reduction in speed. This card's still a B tier just because of the homing capabilities in the ultimate, but it really cannot be put higher currently in Frag. Alright, Miss Bunny. This card is interesting. She really isn't good, but she does have a fun ultimate ability. I'm going to put her at C tier. She's just not the best splash damage character, and that weird burst fire mechanic, yeah, no, C tier for me on this one. Andromeda. This is a very strong splash damage character. This is an easy A tier, and if it was before the reduction in splash radius, she would have been an S tier. But A tier for me right now with Andromeda. Crystal, the Ice Queen. This card is really good, but does require a skilled hand to play at a high level. This is an A tier character when played correctly, and can really isolate almost all the cards in the game except for two. So A tier for Crystal. Snow. This is one of the most fun cards to play in the game, but he really isn't good. If he had his recharge on his ultimate being slightly quicker, he would be higher up, but he's a low B tier for me. You could almost put him in C tier currently. Red Shadow. This was another card that had a really high ceiling at one point. Now he's okay. He really doesn't cover enough ground quick enough to be viable. He's still a B tier, and he is able to be played due to the ultimate ability. Next up, we have Cypher. This is an A tier character, and one of the few cards that, when played correctly, can counter Jaegers that are currently running amok on the Nintendo Switch play style. That ultimate ability where you can't use your abilities and you don't get all your passives is really, really strong. Jet. This is a card that does get a buff next update, is a very fun card to play, but currently is a B tier in the Nintendo Switch scene for Frag Pro Shooter. Ollie. This card's a little deceptive with the crazy fast fire rate and the stun ability off the skateboard. This card can do... Dan the Man. This card is still really bad. He does get a buff here coming up in September, but for now, he is still a C tier character. Honestly, you could put him at D tier if you so chose. Poor Lucha Muerta. This card at one point was the pinnacle of Frag. It has fallen a long way and is now a D tier. And if I had an F tier or a why are you in the game category, that's where he's at right now. He will be getting a buff eventually. I don't know when that buff's supposed to come, but I do know what it will be. So for now, though, D tier. Next up, we have Rick Rock. This is a C tier character. The stun is really good. The damage is horrible. Honestly, if they could increase the damage slightly and the movement speed on this character, he would probably bump up to B tier, almost A tier. But for now, he's a C tier. Volcano. This was a card that, man, it has potential, but he doesn't fire fast enough. This is going to be a C tier, guys. If you can combo off of his ult, he does still have some playability in the game, but you can't put him higher than C tier in the current meta. Ape Suit. This is an OG card as well. He is not good. His ult's fun. He has a Gatling gun. Honestly, I think he's D tier. I wish he was higher, but his damage and fire rate on his primary are just not consistent enough to be higher. Big Paku. This card, guys, used to be a terror. He used to be able to one-shot with his ultimate. Now he just launches you into the air. I think this card is in need of a rework because there's just nothing to be scared of on this card. He doesn't do very good damage. His ult just sends you flying. He's slow and has a huge hitbox. This card needs a rework. He's C tier, possibly D tier. Another tanky boy, Hannibal. They reduced the radius on his ultimate ability for that stun, and unfortunately it has really hurt this card. And it's honestly made him almost unplayable. He's going to be another low-ranked tank for us here. Is what it is, honestly. Those are our ranks for all of our attack cards currently on the Nintendo Switch for Frag Pro Shooter. We will do every one of the categories of cards, so you have the wild cards, centers, defense, and so on. We'll rank them all for you guys so you know what the meta is currently, but these are your meta attack cards. It will help you out with some matches. The strongest card right now is unfortunately not an attack card, but it is the second strongest card currently, possibly the third, depending on how you view one of the defensive cards. But that is what we have for now. I want to remind you guys, Twisted Alliance Gaming is launched on the Nintendo Switch. We are trying to fill up that team. So come join us on the Nintendo Switch so we can become the #1 club in Frag Pro Shooter. Thank you everybody for coming. Enjoy the rest of this match. I'm going to show you how to do the double jump with Jet if you do not know already. And have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Order confirmed. Blaise is under attack.